We'll get together.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm very much aware, I'm Rabbi Sachs Cohen, for those who don't know me. Welcome to our Shabbat service. We're really thrilled that you're here. I'm very aware of the way that for the past several years we have been in various stages and aspects of separation, one from the other. And our return to this space in our congregation signals something even more than being in a lovely space. It reminds us how good it is when we can be shoulder to shoulder with each other, when we are not spread out across a somewhat cavernous expanse from each other. It turns out that we human beings need to be in physical presence with one another. We need to be able to feel that someone is over here and someone is over here. And when we come together in this way to celebrate Shabbat, our voices rise that much higher because we are together and sharing this worship, this time together. So welcome back to the Goodwin. If this is your first service in here in many years or in just a couple of weeks, we're grateful that we now have the ability to stream our service from this room, and we will be doing a lot more of our services in this room for that reason. And we're grateful for all of the opportunity that this room presents us.
All right. I also want to thank, before we begin, I want to thank Cy Smith, Allie Pye, and Meredith Einhorn for their musical leadership tonight. We'll begin with Kini Matov. You can find the words on the screens in front of us. If the melodies are familiar, please sing your hearts out, and if they're not, please sing anyway. Yeshua's got a lie. There's plenty of those to go around. And we'll begin with Kini Matov by Alana Arian, who was with us not long ago.
Shebera
Part of being in this smaller space is that as people come in a little bit later, they are looking for a place to sit. So what I want to encourage, much to your chagrin, is that you move to the center of the aisle that you're in if there are empty chairs there, so that folks can fill in the sides. And there are some empty chairs right up here in the front row where everybody loves to be.
We're going to move now into welcoming Shabbat with the lighting of our Shabbat candles. And it's a pleasure to invite up members of the family of our mitzvah for this weekend. So I'd like to invite up Alan Wish along with Janice Howe. And to help light the candles, Larry Gillel and Rebecca Wish. And we will have our favorite here. So come on. Into our Friday night Kiddush. And I'd like to invite Rebecca Wish to stay up. And she'll be joined by Leslie Wish, who will help us with brief reading in English before the Friday night Kiddush. And it's a pleasure to invite our guests for this weekend, Dylan and Sophia, to come on up. Before we move to the reading for the Kiddush, I'd like to formally, very formally, present these two Kiddush cups to Sophia and to Dylan. They have your initials on them. Do you guys want to check real quick? Make sure we got them right. Is that right? Okay, good. All right. They're presented from the Brotherhood of BAC and the Women of BAC as a gift in the hope that you will remember this beautiful weekend, surrounded by your family, your friends, and your community. And wherever your Jewish journey takes you, when you have the chance to use them this weekend, these two souls are from the moment. And Rebecca, can you read the first paragraph and the second paragraph?
We thank you for the gift of Shabbat, your holy day. It reminds us of the work of creation. Each Shabbat is ever new. It nurtures and renews our souls.
Help us to understand Shabbat's true values so that we will not abuse it. Teach us to observe it in peace of mind and with purity of heart. Help us to be your ways and walk humbly in your ways.
If you're able, please rise and join us for Friday night. Shabbat. We want to mention also that this is our family Shabbat, and we are so glad to have families with members of all ages with us this evening. And we want the children in the room to feel free to be children. And so we have a alphabet rug in the back if you want to practice by the alphabet, or just practice and play in the back. We also have, as you come in, there is a red cart there with some activities, some Shabbat books. And so in whatever way our young guests want to experience Shabbat, they are most welcome. We'll continue with Lechadot.
gave us the Torah to show that you love us. May it always be a friend at our side. The Torah is our teacher. It tells us what is right and what is wrong. It shows us how to live good lives.
Be with us always when we study Torah. Be with us always as we try to live good lives. We praise you, eternal God, who gave us, the Jewish people, the Torah. It is your special gift to us. It is the gift of your love.
Open up our eyes. We sing together. Open up our eyes. Teach us how to live. Fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us continue now with our Micha Mocha, taken from the part of Passover that we read only recently on our 7th, or in some cases 8th day. So please join us.
God, who is ours and God of our mothers and fathers, may our rest on this Shabbat bring you pleasure. Lead us to holiness through your mitzvot, and may each of us find a portion that is ours. Let your holy Shabbat be our heritage, and may we embrace it freely and with love.
We'll continue with our Vishamru, our song for Shabbat.
Shabbat
To remind me that I don't have to journey far to discover something new. For miracles surround me, blessings and holiness around. And you are near. Amen.
Amen. Joshua? Amen. 4 years of prayer. Our prayer for peace. Shalom.
Take a minute now to pray the prayers that are in our hearts. Shabbat, we hold in our hearts in particular Patricia Abend, Nathaniel Agan, Barbara Barnow, Cindy Blake, Etta Mindel Bachana, Michelle Connor, Daniel Crone III, Sherry Einhorn, David Elkins, Elaine Gammerman, Lynn Garrison, Claire Goldstein, Betty Handwerger, Mitchell Henderson, Bonnie Jacobson, Arnold Katz, Mark Letterman, Rachel Letterman, Piper Levine, Barbara Kinberg, Lenny Kinlan, Arnold Lerner, Mark Levitt, Allison Latowski, Leah Kyla Batsima Vadovit, Shayna Max, Ira Mandel, Albert Norris, Bob Sachs, Susan Samuel, Barbara Sindler, Elizabeth Smith, Amy Spotzeller, Peter Street, Catherine Vecchio, Trudy Yohei, Leslie Waldman, Arlene Wiener, and Autumn White. So I want to tell a story tonight, and I want to invite anyone who might have a little difficulty seeing because they're behind the chairs or maybe they're a little shorter, to move up to the front. You can sit on the floor in the front here as you hear my story, if you like. And also, before the sacred comes the mundane, someone's lights are on in the parking lot. Hyundai Santa Fe 102M979, if that's you. We don't want you stuck here all night because your car battery died. So, my friend, oh no! Amazing, amazing. Yeah. Okay, all right, well, so I will be back shortly. All right. So I need one volunteer because I was going to have Zai do it. I need an adult. Yeah, come on, play. All right. Put this on. You good? You good? Oh, you look good. You look good. You look good. All right. So you want to be out in front there, and you guys just act. You're just acting. You don't have lines. You just act. So. Did anyone, so don't stand in front of me. Come on. We rehearsed this blocking. Never. Okay. So, in the last, let's say 2 weeks or so, did anyone open a door for Elijah? Yeah, raise your hand. Or did you see a door open, even if you didn't do it yourself? Yeah, excellent. So, you may not know that in addition to the stories that are in the Tanakh about Elijah, there are an awful lot of other stories that we have in Jewish life about this guy, Elijah. Has anyone ever met him? No, I don't think you did, but you may be familiar with some of the stories. I'm guessing maybe not the one I'm going to tell you tonight. This one is a story about Elijah from Argentina. So, put on your Argentinian accents, please. Yeah, you don't have to say anything. I'm going to do it all. So, this story probably traveled with many of our not ancient ancestors, but our ancestors from Eastern Europe across the globe to Argentina. So, some of you may be familiar with it from the Argentinian side and some from the Eastern European side, and none of it matters because it's a great story. So, a long time ago, my friend Julio here was working in his field. Julio, yes, excellent. And Julio was quite anxious on this particular day because be anxious? Oh, you're being anxious. I'm sorry, I couldn't see your face. So, Julio was quite anxious on this particular day because of the locusts. The locusts, which came every 7 years or so, destroyed the crops. made that up. His wife Alberta had been saving her pennies, knowing that this was coming, but it was not an easy moment. It was not an easy time. And so he was sweating in the fields when he paused for a moment and looked up, and on the horizon to his left, farther left, behind you, there, right there, he saw a figure walking through the stalks of corn, or maybe they were wheat. The figure approached him and said, "Shalom Aleichem." And he said, "Aleichem Shalom." "May I help you, sir?" And the man, who did not introduce himself, said, "I would love to give you a blessing." And Julio said, "Okay." Because who turns down a blessing when it's offered? And the man said, "I would like to make you very prosperous." And the man said, "Get out of my field." "What are you talking about?" That's not an Argentinian accent, by the way. So the man left. Julio went back home and told what did I say your name is? Alberta. Thank you, Alberta. And told Alberta about this strange man who showed up in the field and said, "I want to make you prosperous." She said, "Oh, that's weird. Did he make you prosperous?" No, Julio said, "I don't think so." She said, "Well, let me know if you see him again." Okay. Julio went back out to the field the next morning, as he did each morning, still anxious, looking up at the skies, waiting for those locusts to return. And as he paused in his work, he looked up at the horizon to his left and saw the strange man approaching again. The man said, "Shalom Aleichem." And Julio said, "Aleichem Shalom. Can I help you?" And the man said again, "I would like to make you prosperous." Julio said, "This is not funny. You are not amusing me. Please leave." The man left. Julio went home for lunch. Alberta, counting pennies, said, maybe we should try a different approach to this. If this man comes again, maybe ask him how, or maybe why he wants to make you prosperous. Okay, all right, Julio thought that was a pretty good idea. So the next morning, he went back to the field. And when he paused and looked up at the horizon, he saw, yes, in fact, the strange man coming through the parted stalks of corn or wheat. Again, the man said, "Yes, Aleichem Shalom," exactly. And then the man said, "I want to make you prosperous." And Julio said, "How?" This was the opening the man wanted. He said, "Well, my friend, I can give you 7 years of good fortune now, or I can give you 7 years of good fortune at the end of your life. Which do you choose?" You're looking at me? Don't look at me. Go ask Alberta. Which is exactly what Julio did. He ran home, leaving the man standing in the field, and said, "This is what the man said to me. He said, 7 years of prosperity now, or 7 years at the end of our life. What should I do?" She said, "Now would be good, because those locusts are coming." Okay, said Julio. "Okay, I got it." Ran back to the field, said to the man who was still swatting locusts, "Is that what you were doing?" I love that guy. Said, "We'll take the 7 years now, good sir." And the man said, "I think if you return to your home, you will find that they have begun." And then he disappeared. tzedakah than they'd ever been able to give. They invited the strangers into their home for meals. They took care of the widow and the orphan in their village. They did all of the things they knew how to do, but never had the means to do in the past. Then one day, 7 years later, the locusts buzzing in the background, Julio went out to the field to work. As he paused, wiping the sweat from his brow, he looked up to the horizon and to his left and saw the man coming back through the field. Shalom Aleichem, said the man. Aleichem shalom, said Julio. Have you had a good 7 years, my friend? And Julio said, yes, he had. The man said, then I will ask you now to return to me all of the wealth that I gave to you 7 years ago. You owe me. And there was no further ad-libbing. Julio said, just a minute, and ran back to Alberta. Alberta, the worst has happened. The man has reappeared and he is asking for the money back. She said, wait a second. Let's do this. Go back and tell the man that if he can find someone who has made better use of the gift that he has given them, that we will return all the money to him. But if he can find no one who has done more good with it than we have, then tell him that it should be ours to keep. Julio thought that was a pretty good plan. He ran back to the man and told him what Alberta had said. Can you show us anyone who has made better use of the gift that you have given them? The man thought and thought and thought and ultimately had to concede that he could not find anyone who had used the gift better than Julio and Alberta. And so he said, my friends, the prosperity is yours to keep. Continue to use it well. And once again, throughout their lives, Julio and Alberta always offered their gratitude to the strange man who appeared out of nowhere, to their God, and to life itself by using the prosperity that they had to help others, to do good in the world, and to follow the commandments. Can anyone tell me where Elijah was in this story? Yes, for mitzvah students. Elijah was the man, and Elijah is the man. Absolutely. We thank our young actors for their assistance in this party. And may you all be blessed with enough prosperity to do good in the world. Shabbat shalom.
We're going to continue with our version of Aleinu that we've been sharing together at our family Shabbats this year. The words are Ein Od, Ein Od. Ein Od means there is none other. So we'd like to invite our ark opener helpers to join us. Let's sing together. Ein Od.
Please rise if you are able.
Ein
have been important in our lives. We remember them by name as they are remembered and held in our hearts. In the period of Shloshim, the 30 days, our congregation remembers Albert Jackman, Alan Stark, Donna Bickley, Daniel Danny Lambros, Marty Mandelberg, Marilyn Rothschild, Stan Franklin, Beverly Robinson, and Ruth Subert. And we remember as well the anniversaries of the deaths, the yahrzeits, of Lillian Rosenberg Ansel, Louis Aronin, Milton Bear, David Baruch, Fred Benjamin, Meyer Mike Bloom, Ruth Bloom, Sarah Blumberg, Natalie Brodsky, Herbert Tripp Burgunder III, Cindy Burgunder, David H. Cohen, Fanny Cohen, Irvin H. Cohen, Henry Dillon, Sidney Eichengreen, Samuel Feibel, Frederick Frank, Lily Gand, Samuel Gelber, Ben Goldberg, Isaac Goldstein, Samuel Greenwald, Mildred Harris, L. Manuel Hendler, Bernard Horowitz, Louis Jandoff Jr., Risa Gale Calderon, Marion Mashi Klein, Bernice Kramer, Rebecca Gachrach Kravitz, Jeanette Kushner, Ann Laskin, Sylvan Levin, David Levinson, Ruth Lewis, Vicki Margolis, Bessie Marks, Julie Marks, Eleanor Medvedev, Judith Klein Miller, Edward Paul, Harry Perlstein, Betty Raskovar, Rebecca Rothman, Bessie Rudnick, Janet Savinkoff, Anthony Savinuk, Daniel Savinuk, Paul Savinuk, Arnold Schunick, Charles Siegelman, Sidney Sharfstein, Bertha Swogel, Rena Tralins, Joseph Troy, Joan Upton, Barbara Weinberg, Ralph Weinberg, and Leonard Weinstein. If you are remembering someone in the period of Shloshim or a yahrzeit, please rise first from Mourner's Kaddish. And those who wish to stand with them in sacred community, please do so now. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach l'ruteh ve'amlich malchuteh, v'chaye on v'yom echon, v'chaye l'chol beit Yisrael, v'agalah v'zman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam lo'ei amaya, yitvarach v'yishtabach v'yitfa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'itadar v'itale v'ithalal, Shemed Kudisha v'richu, Le'elam mikol berchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata, Damiran b'yalma v'imru, Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min Shemaya, V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mrumav, Hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and all those who inhabit the earth. And let us say, Amen. Please be seated. I'd like to invite Brian Tolera to share some announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. Tomorrow morning, Torah Talk meets in Zoom at 9 a.m., followed by our Shabbat service at 10:30 a.m., when we celebrate with Rebecca and Alan Wish when Sophia becomes a bat mitzvah. And at 5 p.m., we celebrate with Janice Tov and Alexander Hillel when Dylan becomes a bat mitzvah. Sunday at 2 p.m., enjoy the Azor concert for families living with autism. The concert features beautiful, uplifting music with the Thalia String Quartet. Also at 3 p.m. is our Music and Meaning concert, Cello Power with Amici Music. The concert is made possible by the Peggy and Yale Gordon Trust Fund. All are welcome. On Monday, drop off frozen casseroles at VHC for Our Daily Bread between 11 and 11:30 a.m. Join Rabbi Sachs Cohen and Cantor Ellerin on April 25th at 7 p.m. in person at VHC for meditation. All are welcome. Friday, April 28th is VHC's annual meeting and Shabbat service. We start with a reception at 5 p.m. and annual meeting at 5:30 p.m. Our Shabbat service is at 6:15 p.m. Incoming board members will be installed, and we will present the Carol J. Kaplan Service and Commitment Award to Julie Simon and the Afghan Refugee Circle volunteers. On Sunday, April 30th, from 1:30 to 3:30, women of the HG's community will hold their shred event in our parking lot. Thank you to our ushers. Following services, if you have reservations for dinner, please proceed to the Strauss Social Hall. Everyone is invited to the Oneg Shabbat in the lobby, sponsored by Janice Taub and Alexander Hillel in honor of Dylan becoming a bar mitzvah, and Rebecca and Alan Wish in honor of Sophia becoming a bat mitzvah. Shabbat shalom.
So I want to invite any kids up who'd like to share in the closing song and blessing challah to get a little piece of pie. Come on up. And this night is proof that if we build a world of love, then God will build a world of love. Shabbat shalom, everyone.